We're on 1 Kings chapter 9. And it came to pass when Solomon had finished his building of the house of the Lord and the king's house, and all Solomon's desires which he was pleased to do, that the Lord appeared to Solomon the second time, as he had appeared unto him at Gibeon. And the Lord said unto him, I have heard thy prayer and thy supplications that thou hast made before me. I have hallowed this house which thou hast built, to put my name there forever, and my eyes and my heart shall be there perpetually. And if thou wilt walk before me, as David thy father walked, in integrity of heart and in uprightness, to do according to all that I have commanded thee, and will keep my statutes and my judgment, then I will establish the throne of thy kingdom upon Israel forever, as I promised to David thy father, saying, There shall not fail thee a man upon the throne of Israel. But if ye shall at all turn from following me, or your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes which I have set before you, but you go and serve other gods and worship them, then I will cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house which I have hallowed for my name will I cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. Let's see. The house of God over there is gone. So I would say that Solomon did not keep it. It's gone. And I have to say that Israel is a proverb and a byword. They don't like you saying Israel. It has an algorithm now. All right, number 8. And at this house which is high, everyone that passes by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss, and they shall say, Why hast the Lord done thus to this land and to this house? And they shall answer, Because they forsook the Lord their God, and brought forth their fathers out of the land of Egypt, and have taken hold upon other gods, and have worshipped them, and served them. Therefore has the Lord brought upon them all the evil. And it came to pass at the end of the 20th year, when Solomon had built the two houses, the house of the Lord and the king's house. Now Hiram, the king of Tyre, had finished Solomon with cedar trees and fir trees, and with gold, according to all his desire. That then King Solomon gave Hiram 20 cities in the land of Galilee. And Hiram came out from Tyre to see the cities which Solomon had given him, and they pleased him not. Wow, he didn't like them. And he said, What city are these that thou hast given me, my brother? And he called them the land of Cabal unto this day. And Hiram sent to the king six score talents of gold. And this is the reason of the levy which King Solomon raised, for to build the house of the Lord, and his own house, and Milo, and the wall of Jerusalem, and Hazor, and Megiddo, and Gezer. For Pharaoh king of Egypt had gone up and taken Gezer, and burned it with fire, and slain the Canaanites that dwelt in the city, and given it for a present unto his daughter Solomon's wife. And Solomon built Gezer, and Beth-horon the Nether, and Baalath, and Tabor in the wilderness in the land, and all these cities of the store that Solomon had, and cities for the chariots, and cities for his horsemen, and all which Solomon desired to build in Jerusalem and in Lebanon, and in all the land of his dominion. And all the people that were left of the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hittites, Jebusites, which were not of the children of Israel, their children that were left after them in the land, whom the children of Israel also were not able utterly to destroy. Upon those did Solomon levy a tribute of bondservice unto this day. But of the children of Israel did Solomon make no bondmen, but they were men of war, and his servants, and his princes, and his captains, and his rulers of his chariots, and his horsemen. And these were the chief of the officers that were over Solomon's work, 550, which bore rulers over the people that wrought in the work. But Pharaoh's daughter came up out of the city of David into her house, which Solomon had built her. Then did he build Millo, and 3 times in the year did Solomon offer burnt offering and peace offering upon the altar which he built unto the Lord. And he burnt incense upon the altar that was before the Lord. So he finished the house. Alright, he was not supposed to do it. It was supposed to be the Levite. And he wasn't supposed to be burning incense. It's supposed to be the Levite. And King Solomon made a navy of ships in Ezer-Geber, which is beside Eloth, on the shore of the Red Sea in the land of Edom. And Hiram sent in the navy his servants, shipmen that had knowledge of the sea, with the servants of Solomon. And they came to Ophir, and they fetched from thence gold, 420 talents, and brought it to King Solomon. Okay, we're on chapter 10. And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to prove him with hard questions. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bore spices, and very much gold and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions. Was not anything hid from the king which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had been all with Solomon's wisdom, and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the settings of his servant, and the audience of his ministers, and his apparel, and his cupbearers, and his agents by which he went up into the house of the Lord, there was no more spirit in her. And she said to the king, It was a true report that I heard in my own land of thy acts of wisdom. Howbeit, I believed not the word until I came, and mine eyes seen it. And behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard. Happy are thy men, happy are thy servants, which stand continually before thee, and that hear thy wisdom. Blessed be the Lord thy God, which delight in thee, to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Lord loveth Israel forever. Therefore made he thee king to do judgment and justice. And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices every great store, and precious stone. There came no more such an abundance of spices as those which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. And the navy also of Hiram, that brought gold from Ophir, brought from Ophir great plenty of almug tree and precious stones. And the king made of the almug tree pillars for the house of the Lord, and for the king's house, harps also, and psalteries for singing. There came no such almug tree, nor were seen unto this day. And King Solomon gave unto the queen of Sheba all her desire, whatsoever she asked, besides that which Solomon gave her of her royal bounty. So she turned and went to her own country, she and her servants. Now, I want to say this. Now, let's look at Solomon's life. From what I understand, and this is what I have been told. Now, I don't know if it's true, but I'm, willing to say that it could be. That Solomon and her has got a child together, okay? Not only that, but she took the real Ark of the Covenant over with her, and they had a fake one in the God's house. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I've heard. I mean, you can look it up now, and you can see that they say they have the true Ark of the Covenant. It wouldn't surpass me. But then also, there's a guy named Ron Hyatt. Said he found the Ark of the Covenant, and it had God's blood on it, or Jesus' blood on it, and he took it and had it tested, and it wasn't like everybody else's blood. All right, I'm going to go on. 14. Now the weight of gold that came to Solomon in 1 year was 636 talents of gold. Wow, check out the sixes. Besides that, he had of the merchantmen and of the torflick of the spice merchants, and of all the kings of Arabia, and of the governors of the country. And the King Solomon made 200 targets of beaten gold. 600 shekels of gold went to one target. Wow. And he made 300 shields of beaten gold. 3 pounds of gold went to one shield, and the king put them in the house of the forest of Lebanon. Moreover, the king made a great throne of ivory, and overlaid it with the best gold. The throne had 6 steps, and the top of the throne was round behind, and there were stayed on either side on the place of the seat, and 2 lions stood beside the stay. And 12 lions stood there on the one side, on the other upon the 6th step. There was not the like made in any kingdom. And all King Solomon's drinking vessels were of gold, and all the vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were of pure gold. None were of silver. It was nothing acquainted of in the day of Solomon. For the king had at sea a navy of Tarshish, which the navy of Hiram. Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish, bringing gold and silver, ivory and ape and peacocks. So King Solomon exceedingly all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom. And all the earth sought to Solomon to hear his wisdom, which God had put in his heart. And they brought every man his present, vessels of silver and vessels of gold, and garments, and armor, and spices, horses, and mules, a rate year by year. And Solomon gathered together chariots and horsemen, and he had thousands and 400 chariots, and 12,000 horsemen, whom he besought in the cities for chariots, and with the king at Jerusalem. And the king made silver to be in Jerusalem a stone, and cedar made he to be as sycamore trees that are in the vial of abundance. And Solomon had horses brought out of Egypt, and linen yarn. The king's merchants received the linen yarn at a price. And the chariots came up and went out of Egypt for 600 shekels of silver, and of the horse for an abundance of 50. And so for all the kings of the Hittites, and for the king of Syria, did they bring them out of their means. All right, we're on chapter 11. We're going to quit right there. But there were too many sixes in there. I don't know if y'all know about the sixes, but y'all can look them up. Well, I can tell you this, all the movie stars do them. Yeah, there's not one that y'all can't go and see a movie star that has a 6. That, the hand sign 6. Alrighty. I got a lot to say, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut.